Hello everyone. Today I'm working on a 2014 Ram 2500 four-door quad cab pickup truck with the 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel engine. I have a check engine light. The code in the engine module is reading U059F, and that comes back as a NOx sensor, NOx sensor. Letter B, invalid data. So I did some research on that. That's coming back as the NOx sensor, or the nitrate oxide sensor, in the rear of the selective catalytic reduction pipe, or basically it's like a catalytic converter, in the very back of it where the exhaust gases exit. So it's trying to tell basically the sensor tells the computer how much or gives the computer a comparison as to from the input to the output, how much it was reduced, how much the pollution was reduced. So basically, invalid data is saying it doesn't understand the data coming out of the sensor. So I'm kind of going to show you a little bit while I was driving with this diagnostic scanner hooked up to it, see what's actually coming out of the computer. Okay, so here's my scanner set up. Basically what we're doing is we're trying to see or make a comparison as to before and after treatment. So just a little background, NOx is what we're looking for. NOx is a pollutant. According to the EPA, it's called nitrogen oxide. It's short for nitrogen oxide. It's a pollutant that forms acid rain in the atmosphere. And it also is considered something that causes asthma and lung problems. So naturally, the EPA wants us to keep the pollutants that are in the environment as low as possible. So that's basically what we're looking at here. Is, the computer is seeing what's coming directly out of the engine and recording that value. And on the other side of the exhaust system, the catalytic converter, DPF, SCR, how much has it been reduced by the system, the catalyst system. So I have this on this side. This is the sensor that's plugged into the turbocharger, right after the turbocharger. This is right after the catalyst. So we want to see how much it's reduced from here to here. So when I press play, you'll see I recorded this. I'm in playback mode. So you'll see what's going on here. So right now, as I was driving, the engine was putting out roughly about 58 parts per million. And anytime I started to hit a hill, the amount starts to jump pretty high. It starts to come up pretty much, pretty high. It's at 135, and that's just a slight hill. So you can see where, how much NOx is being produced by the engine. The more heat you have, the more combustion, the more NOx is being produced. So as you can see, that's what it looks like as I'm going down the hill. So it falls down. But you notice on the right hand side, this sensor, which gave us the check engine light, is just saying invalid. So that in itself is a problem, because the computer does not know how much or how effective or efficient the catalyst or the catalytic converter is at reducing NOx from what you see here to something else. And obviously it won't be, well, it shouldn't be zero. It should be more than zero. So what we're going to do now, based on what we're seeing here, is replace the sensor, because we can pretty much say something is seriously wrong with the sensor. I tried cleaning the sensor. It's still not showing anything. So from here, we're just going to replace the sensor. So I've received the new NOx sensor in the mail. So kind of give you an idea of what will be done here is that this here mounts up on the side of the frame of the truck like this, and the wiring harness plugs in this direction here, and this here is the, I guess, the computational module that's doing the conversions from the actual sensor here. So this part here actually goes into the catalyst or the catalytic converter. I think on gas vehicles you would just call it an oxygen sensor, but here in this application it's a NOx sensor. And we're going to use this tool here, which is normally used to remove oxygen sensors from the exhaust. It does fit. As you can see, it's round all the way around, so just slide the tool over and then go in and turn it, and that should do what we need it to do. So now I'm going to get underneath the truck and unbolt it. Alright, so we're underneath the truck. I really didn't want to put it on the lift because I felt it'd take too long to put it on the lift. I just do it the way it is now here. So but basically this is the interface to the sensor. The sensor is plugged into the cat, and the sensor's right here. So after the gas comes out, it goes through here, and this is the wire that goes to the sensor, and that right there is the wire coming out of the harness going to the computer. So we're going to start by taking this off. I want to tackle this first, and then I'll tackle the sensor itself. At the very least, loosen up the bolt. Let's see, this is a 10 millimeter socket. Like I say, I've tried cleaning this here and didn't see any improvement, so that's done. Now we're going to start on pulling the sensor itself. So that's the sensor. I'm just going to slide this over. Just give it a good yank. Really good. So ended up hitting it a few times with a hammer. Probably didn't want to hear it, so but basically got it a few times with the hammer. So now I loosened it up. Damaged. We can take it off the tool. And now we can take it out. old sensor. Alright, so that's the old sensor. Alright, so this is the new one. I'm going to do like before. I'm going to mount it on the wall. And then, well, actually I'm going to twist it in first, then mount it. That way it's not a problem trying to twist it while it's mounted on the wall already. Let's see if I can get my hand out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, look it down. Tighten it clockwise and just kind of snug it a little bit. I don't like tightening things down too much. I'd rather something be loose than too tight, unless it's a safety item like a wheel or something like that. That should be enough. Alright, time to mount the interface. So it's only two 10mm bolts to mount the interface sensor interface board back to the frame, and then from there just tighten it back on. What did these start correctly? So you don't cross fading. Yeah, I know. And I just try to go, I don't like over tightening things, because, for all I know, there might be a circuit board that gets twisted or damaged from me over tightening. So just, I just hand tighten things. The way I look at it is, chances are it ain't gonna just fall off by mistake. I mean, the tuner guys that like to do deletes and stuff, they'll say it'll fall off, but that's a whole nother video. So now I'm plugging back the wiring harness into the interface board. Now we're finished. Now all we got to do now is take it for a test drive and see if it's responding, and go from there.
A few moments later.
So I just got back from the test drive after replacing the rear NOx sensor in the back of the SCR, the selective catalyst reduction converter, and it looks like it is working now. So just to kind of give you a better idea of what's going on, the sensors do not start showing any real data until they warm up, kind of like the O2 sensors in a gas-powered car. So I didn't really see any data until I got a few miles down the road, but at least both sensors were operating instead of one sensor, whereas with the other one I drove several miles and nothing happened on the second sensor. So here I'm showing acceleration, my accelerator pedal position. Top here shows the engine speed, intake, that is untreated exhaust gas, and outlet after it's been treated from the selective catalyst. So now I'm going to hit play and you'll see. So this is the RPMs here, and you'll notice I'm just kind of idling at this point. I didn't put my foot on the accelerator yet. Right now we're at 54 parts per million, and output is 4 parts per million. So we went from 52 to 6, so that's a pretty good amount of treatment or reduction. So as you can see here, now my foot is on the accelerator. I'm at 25%, 30% acceleration. You'll see both of them rising. And as I go up a hill, you'll notice I'm at 120, 150, 180, 190, almost 200 parts per million coming out. And going into the system, and about 130 so going out. So it looks like about a 50% reduction in pollution. So as you can see, my foot here is slowly coming off the accelerator, and right now I'm kind of in a steady position here, but you can see there's pretty much a 50% reduction in pollution and output there. So after both sensors warmed up, it appears that the system is working correctly. So hopefully it'll stay that way for a while. Apparently over time they do go bad, so they will have to be replaced just like an O2 sensor. But it looks like it is working correctly. So anyway, my understanding is that in some cases, in some vehicles, you have to do a relearn procedure. I don't know of any relearn procedures for the Ram pickup, so I'm just going to drive it as is. The check engine light is off. I've checked for codes. I didn't see any codes so far. I would say I drove it about 15 miles, maybe more than that. No, yeah, about 15 miles. So at least I'm getting an output here, so that's all that I really care about. But yeah, for now that's basically it. So hopefully that'll help somebody.